Rachachana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Von den deities? Huh? So we continue with Srimad Bhagavatam. English, no? Yeah? Spanish? Okay. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 11, text 11. Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhutavasang harim bhavan aradhya duraratya yam vishnustat paramam param sarva bhutatma bhavena bhutavasang harim bhavan aradhyapa duraratyam vishnustat paramam padam. Sarvabhutatma bhavena Bhutavasam Harim Bhavam. Bhutatma bhavena Yasa Harim Bhavan. Vishnustat Paramam Padam. Nitya. Srila Krishna. Ladies. Bhutatma bhavena Javarim Bhavam Aryapaduraradyam Vishnu Tata Param Bhavam Sarva Bhutatma Bhavena Bhutadvasam Harim Bhavan Aradya Paduraratya Vishnustat Paramam Padam Sarva Bhuta. In all living entities, Atma, upon the Supersoul, Bhavena, with meditation, Bhuta, of all existence, Avasam, the abode, Harim, Lord Hari, Bhavan, you, Aradya, by worshipping, Apa, have achieved, Duraradyam, very difficult to appropriate. Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, Tat, that, Paramam, supreme, Padam, situation. Translation of the verse. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari and the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping Him, the supreme abode of all living entities. Purport. The material bodies of all living entities cannot exist unless sheltered by the Spirit Soul and the Super Soul. The Spirit Soul is dependent on the Super Soul, who is present even within the atom. Therefore, since anything, material or spiritual, is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord is referred to here as the Bhutavasa. Dhruva Maharaj, as a Kshatriya, could have argued with his grandfather Manu when Manu requested him to stop fighting. But even though Dhruva could have argued that as a Kshatriya it was his duty to fight, with the enemy, he was informed that since every living entity is a residence of the Supreme Lord and can be considered a temple of the Lord, the unnecessary killing of any living entity is not permitted. Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhutava sangharim bhavan Aradyapa duraradyam Vishnustat paramam param. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping Him as a supreme abode of all living entities. Om Maginati Vedandasya Gananjana Shlakaya Chaksumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manivastam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadayam Tadati Swapadandikam. So again we hear Manu speaking to Dhruva Maharaj. And the story goes that he had become very angry. Dhruva had become very angry because his brother had been killed by what was that called? Uttama, by the Yakshas. Taking revenge. Actually, Manu is telling him that he should have only killed the killer of his brother. But it appears that he couldn't control his anger, and he started killing as many yakshas as he could. That's why the verse says here, the former verse said in Bhagavatam, and it finishes the purport here saying, the unnecessary killing of any living entity is not permitted. But in general, killing is permitted. Everything has its use, proper use. Or the proper use we learn from authorities. Or as we always say, Guru, Shastra, Acharya, Guru, and what was that? Sadhu, Sangha, Sadhu, Guru, Sadhu, Sangha. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So, from this line we can learn things properly, how to behave, how to do things, execute our duties properly. And it's, like we heard before, it's actually the duty of the Kshatriyas. If necessary, apply violence, killing. And why is this? Because they're supposed to protect. They have this responsibility of protecting the indefensive groups, like we mentioned this yesterday. Anyway, just like also Paul mentions in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Paul mentioned there, when we attacked by little arms, when somebody sets fire to our house, or he gives us poison, or whatever, and kidnaps or violates a wife. As we kill that person, it doesn't incur any karma. There's no reaction, because we're just complying with our duty. So everything has to learn properly, and the Shastras are guiding in this regard. Just like the different parts of the body have different functions. The head has its function. The arms have their function. The stomach or the digestive system has its function. The legs have their function. But the head is considered the most important part amongst all these parts. You might lose one arm, or a leg, or maybe even two. And you might have big problems with your digestion. Maybe they start taking care of your digestion in an artificial way, by hanging this sack there with connecting with the substance. But if the brain doesn't work properly, everything else has become useless. So that's why the importance is given to the head. And the head is compared to the Brahman class. Now this is very important to have proper direction. Just like here in Germany, I heard the government also has a scientific, how you say, what is that called? No, they call them the Kreis der Weisen or something like that. No, of the how do you say wise in English? Huh? Wise, yeah, the wise. Yeah. Anyway, so and also in the GBC, in the GBC there's also a group of very qualified Brahmins. Sometimes when there are some philosophical questions and it takes too long to undergo investigations and all this, they give it to this group, and they produce. They give suggestions how to act and what to decide, what resolutions they take, like that. Anyway, so this is natural. But the Brahmanas, they were not just ministers or advisors, but actually were supposed to be highly realized. And they are supposed to have real knowledge, perfect knowledge. And what does it refer to perfect knowledge? Vedic knowledge. That's why there's so much emphasis in the Vedic history also. There were always some qualified Brahmanas giving advice to the administrative body or the king, like Chanakya Pandit. Chanakya Pandit, Bhagavatam quotes a lot of texts from Chanakya Pandit. We were in South India some years back, and one time we were passing through the street, and we heard from a school, we heard children chanting. And so we asked, what are they chanting? And we were informed that they're actually chanting the Chanakya slokas. Interesting. No? Anyway, so Chanakya, Bhagavatam mentioned that Chanakya Pandit was not a Vaishnava, but he was he had a lot of, common sense. How you say this in English? Yeah, common sense. And so Bhagavatam quotes a lot of Chanakya Pandit. And Chanakya actually was a Brahmana, exemplary Brahmana. He never came into the palace of the king. The king had to come, and he came walking and paid obeisances to Chanakya Pandit. Chanakya Pandit didn't go, never entered the palace to not become confused by the opulence and all this. Anyway, the king came and he took advice. And it says that he asked a question and Chanakya Pandit answered. And there was no discussion. The king just had to accept what Chanakya Pandit would say. And if the king did not accept, then Chanakya was completely detached. He didn't care. And we heard that under the guidance of Chanakya Pandit, actually, there was some, in the northern part of India, there was some invasion. I heard once the Greek had an invasion or something. And under the guidance of Chanakya Pandit, he was able to kick them out. Anyway, so Satsvaru Maharaj also published a book, with all the sayings of Chanakya Pandit, and citing Prabhupada, how Prabhupada used these verses. And he also gave his own comment. Very nice book. Anyway, so these Brahmanas were not just teaching. Actually, the Brahmanas have certain qualities. One is Gyan, and another thing is Vigyan. Gyan means they are very learned. And Vigyan means they have realized knowledge, so that they're wise. So they actually know how to put it into practice. give practical advice. And there's many more qualities. Also, astikyam is also one quality. Unless one is religious, one was not accepted as an atheist would never be accepted as a wise person. That was actually the center of everything. Brahmana means he knows Brahman, he knows the absolute truth. He knows the truth beyond this material manifestation. And of course, the Brahman is realized in different stages. Vadanti tattva vidam tattvam jnanamatmayam prameti paramameti bhagavaniti shabhyati. It says also, learn it, and know the essence of Vedic knowledge. They have declared that this supreme truth is realized in different stages. Brahmeti, as Brahman, impersonal energy, beyond this material manifestation. Then Paramatma, Param Atma. We are Atma, and there's a Param Atma. There are two souls within the heart. There's our identity and the identity of the Supreme Person of God. Paul mentioned this here in the purport. And this is actually compared to the, and then as Paramatma and Bhagavan, the Supreme Person. Prabhupada gave us this nice expression, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I remember when Prabhupada started his movement in New York, and actually there was only a few persons there. And Prabhupada got them together and formed the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And the devotees were wondering, what? Just a few here, and we're creating an international society for Krishna consciousness. And even there was one, I think there was also a lawyer. I think he was a person who said, why don't we say the International Society for God Consciousness? And Prabhupada didn't agree. Because God is like a how you say, puesto, what is it? It's a position, it's just a position. Whereas the Supreme Person of Godhead, the Sarva Karana Karanam, the cause of all causes, is Krishna, the Supreme Person of Godhead. Actually, Prabhupada brought a few terms that were not very much used, like the three modes of material nature. Anyway, so this is, and the Brahmanas are supposed to have realized the Brahman in one of the three forms. Like Prabhupada, I think I mentioned the other day, Prabhupada said, in society, the Brahmanas are the most important, are the head of the society. And those who are Vaishnava Brahmanas, who have realized, have become Vaishnavas, have realized one of the Vishnu Tattva forms, are the supreme, and I say that on the top, on a higher platform, though. Anyway, and this relation, I always mention Srila Prabhupada, because actually Srila Prabhupada, Krishna sent us a very, very special personality. I think I mentioned the other day, when in the beginning, when we became devotees, we thought that in India there must be many Prabhupads. But then when we started traveling to India, we know, even in India, Prabhupada was very, very special. He was actually really empowered for a very special mission to save the conditioned souls all over the world. He was very, very empowered, and by his kirtan, or by his reciting the Bhagavatam, and he had a very special effect in the hearts of people. There was a period in ISKCON where we were accused of brainwashing people. And deprogramming programs and all that. Anyway, they were accusing us of deprogramming people and washing their brains and all that. But actually, no, and because they thought this Krishna consciousness was artificial, something imposed. How is it? No, imposed on the young people. But there's a verse, very nice verse. This is an instruction, the first instruction that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Sanatana Goswami. So you know, Sanatana Goswami was together with his brother Rupa Goswami, had become ministers in the government of the Muslim king. Anyway, so they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they decided to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. First Rupa Goswami left, and then Sanatana also tried to get out of it. But it was a little difficult. No, actually the Kabir, what's that? No, he put him in jail, so he wouldn't leave because he was saying, you are very important in my government. Actually, he said, you are administrating, organizing the kingdom, while I can go out and conquer more. I said, add something else to my kingdom. Anyway, then in the end, finally, Sanatana Goswami also escaped, and when he came to Mayapur, was Mayapur? Yeah. No. Where was it? Okay, yeah. Anyway, so he appeared. No, it was in the South India. Yeah. So when he appeared, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his devotee, there's a very, very special devotee outside the door. Go and get him. And then Sanatana went, but he didn't see any Vaishnava. And then he came back and told him, there's no Vaishnava. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, he's there. Sanatana actually said, there's only a Muslim beggar. By the travel and all that, he had become pretty, sort of dirty, and he had hair and beard and all this. Anyway, so, and finally he came in, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. And Sanatana felt very bad. He was very ashamed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was embracing him, even though he was in that condition. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him to get new clothes, clean, new clothes, Vaishnava clothes. Not anyway. And he told him to shave up. Anyway, so when he came back, with proper clothes and shaved up and clean, he was very adapted a very humble attitude, fell at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet, and starting asking questions. And he said, people consider me to be a very important person. They were also very learned. They think I'm a very learned person, and I'm very. He had been in the government. He had a very important post there. But then he said, "I don't even know who I am. Can you please tell me who I am?" And then there's a very nice verse. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadakabundo Savanadi Padamudo. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, actually, you are the eternal soul within the body. Nitya Siddha. And you actually the love for Krishna is ingrained, how is it in your heart. And then he says, it's not something that is obtained from another source. Now I come to the point. They're accusing us of brainwashing, accepting something artificial like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that actually love of God is permanent within the heart of all living entities. And then he said, well, and when you chant the holy name or hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, you start waking up. You start waking up, to your eternal occupation, Sanatana Dharma. So it's not something artificial. It's there. And the process of devotional service is meant to reawaken this eternal relation with Krishna. And all, there's so many sub-results. How you say it? No? Nebenergebnisse. What is that in English? No? Any, huh? Side effects. Right. Thank you. Side effects. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam that says, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Payojita Chandachacha Vairagyam Jnanam Chayadahaitukam. It says when one starts engages in service to Vasudeva, Krishna, there's two side effects. One is one becomes detached from everything that is not related to devotional service. And the next one is knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Actually, this is in former times. I mentioned this the other day. In other ages, the conditions were different. Like in Satya Yuga, the mode of goodness was dominating. So people had more time. They were more pious. They were all kind of dedicated to something spiritual, to advance spiritually like that. Whereas nowadays it's not the case. It's more difficult. Anyway, so Sanatana Goswami presented these questions, this question, and he was instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a very nice, how you say. He is kind of giving an example how to inquire from the authority. In this case, his spiritual master was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by hearing the sound vibrations, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the holy name, the Krishna consciousness becomes a completely natural thing. It becomes our life to serve Krishna. And Prabhupada also gave us, I mentioned the other day, I think, he also gave us this term, conscientia, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Anyway, so Prabhupada says here in the beginning of the purport, he says, the body has no function without the presence of the soul and the super soul. And this is actually, like we heard so many times, but this is actually the basis of Krishna consciousness, of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. That there's a difference between matter and spirit. There's a difference between the body and the soul. I remember Prabhupada went to Gurukula in Texas. We had the first Gurukula at that time. And Prabhupada went there to sat in front of the children, and he called one little boy. And he said, show me your head. And he pointed to his head. Show me your arm. Show me your left leg or something like that. Your ears and all that. No, he always pointed. No? And then at the end, Prabhupada said, and where are you? Of course, this child was intelligent, so he knew something about it. But this is actually the base. Nobody says, I body, my body, my ears, my head, my this and that, part of the body. We even used to speak like that, as if we were not this body. So on the basis of this is the first instruction actually Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Dehino asmin yata dehi kamaram yogaram jara tatati hantara prati deda stachara mohyati. This verse everyone knows, right? Everyone knows this verse? Yeah? Who can memorize this verse? Sanskrit also. Nobody? Aravinda, you? Yeah. This is the basis of this understanding, of the basis of Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Anyway, so so Dhruva was very blessed. Like we mentioned the other day, he had realized Prishnigarbha had appeared before him. The four-armed form of Krishna. And he became very ashamed when Krishna made his appearance. Normally when you realize or visualize Krishna, then you become overwhelmed by bliss. No? You become very, very, extremely happy. But it says that Dhruva Maharaj became depressed. And he expressed his depression. He said, "Oh, my Lord, I've been looking for pieces of broken glass, and now I have found the most valuable jewel." So this is, and this was all due to the guidance, the mercy of his spiritual master, Narada Muni, who appeared there. Like I mentioned before, I think it was yesterday. I mentioned that when the desire, the desire within the heart awakens for spiritual guidance, Krishna makes the necessary arrangements that we get in touch. I mentioned that many times, that before Prabhupada came to America, he had written an article about a phenomena that is manifesting, especially in those so-called advanced countries, like in Europe and in America. A group of, a class of young people, they were, how you say, Richasa? Huh? Yeah, they were rejecting, their traditions, their materialistic traditions, in search for something more profound, more deep. And so, when Prabhupada came, actually Krishna had prepared the scene for him to preach. Of course, in the beginning, Prabhupada was alone. He was even, at one point, he was even inquiring how to return back to India, because there was no success. He even wrote a letter to Sridhar Muraji and asked her, "Well, I'm here, don't have much results. I'm thinking of coming back." And Muraji wrote him a letter. And she said, "No, now you're there. Now you do what you have to do." She actually instructed him. And Prabhupada saw as an instruction of Krishna, coming from Krishna. So he stayed. And then the first devotees started to appear. We all know the story that Harigriva met Srila Prabhupada on the street. And he just asked Prabhupada, "Are you from India?" And Prabhupada said, "Yes." "Are you interested in India?" And then Harigriva told him, "I have been in India." Actually, later we found out that also Allen Ginsberg had also been in India. And actually, he was there when Prabhupada was living in Vrindavan. He went to Vrindavan. But they didn't meet each other. So Prabhupada was very, very, very surprised that he had also gone there. Anyway, so because Allen Ginsberg became interested also, he was a hippie poet. He became very famous. Actually, I once saw him before I became a devotee. I saw him on TV. And he was in London, in Hyde Park, surrounded. He had a meeting with all the hippies there. He was playing harmonium, a very, very tiny, small harmonium. And he was chanting Hare Krishna. So it was going on. And then when the devotees went to London, they were invited to sing at a very special place, at the Roundhouse. This place was called. I was also there. Anyway, I wasn't there when the devotees were there, but I had already gone there, because London at that time was a place of pilgrimage for the hippies. And they had appeared in Roundhouse, and they became famous in London. And then in the end also they met George Harrison, and George Harrison told them, "Yeah, I was looking for you." And he revealed that he actually already purchased a long play record, Prabhupada chanting, Prabhupada singing. And then he went with John Lennon. They had gone to Greece, some of the famous islands, tourist islands. And he told them, "Yeah, we were on a boat, we two, George Harrison, and we chanted Hare Krishna. And we loved it so much that we couldn't practically stop chanting Hare Krishna." And then George Harrison also asked Prabhupada, "Do I also have to shave my head?" And Prabhupada, "No, you keep your hair. You keep your hair. You have a very special. I will give you some ideas for your text, for your songs. I have a lot of material for your songs. Yeah. Anyway, so then George Harrison loved it so much that he offered the devotees to make a record with him. No, and that record became famous. I don't know if you ever heard about it, but it was on all the hit parades in Europe. It went up first places. Yeah. And they also, this group also came to Germany. And anyway, so became famous in Germany also, but not. We even went to the Star Club. Have you heard about Star Club? Yeah? A very famous club in Hamburg, where the Beatles had played before they became famous, before they returned to England. Yeah. Anyway, so we also chanted there, no? And it was a red light. How is it? Red light. They had red light, not white, no? Red light. And people were sitting on their tables, no? And we were so strange. I mean, something so new for them, no? That we made them all chant Hare Krishna and all that. Anyway, so in this way, no, with the help of the Beatles, Hare Krishna became famous all over. Yeah. So, especially in England, I heard so many new bhaktas came because of the Beatles. So Krishna consciousness by now is expanded all over the world. Like I mentioned the other day, when I travel, and I travel a lot, so to say. Everywhere, people everywhere somebody starts saying Hare Krishna, or start singing the mantra or something like that. So this is what we're supposed to do. Yeah? We have gotten this incredible gift, and we're supposed to give it to others. That was Prabhupada's mission. Yeah. When Prabhupada heard about our successes in preaching, just like, for example, the devotees started distributing books, and surprisingly, the book distribution was becoming big. And I heard even Prabhupada was surprised when he started hearing from America, when they had the first marathon and all that. And Prabhupada was surprised himself. Wow, so many books he distributed. Yeah? And then he turned around and said, now double it. And when they doubled it, he said, now double it again. That was the most, as far as we can see, this was the most important desire of Srila Prabhupada. That this knowledge be distributed all over the world. And nowadays, when we have our programs, like Sunday programs and all that, or public programs outside, we have we're accustomed to ask, how did you all come to know about this? How come you know? How did you become devotees? Normally people say, I got a book. So producing the books and distributing the books is our mission. What do you think, Aravinda? Huh? He's a Sankirtan fanatic. Any questions? Yeah, du warst der Erste.
Leading by example, as far as I understand. But in management, practical management, we see, of course, we have differences in guna, let's say. But we all want to be, because it's very prestigious to be brahmana or something like that.
To have a sacred thread.
Huh?
To have a sacred thread.
Yeah. And especially also to give advices. So we all want to be advisor. We all want to be.
Yeah, regarding this, I remember Prabhupada said once that Brahmana means he likes to study and teach. Whatever he knows, he starts to communicate, no? Teach others.
Yeah, but now we have the difficulties that we have many advisors and nobody would like to listen, everybody. I mean, I see this many times around in social media or something. Everybody has an opinion and want to give this opinion and expect that everybody else accepts this opinion or this advice.
What are you referring to?
For example, there are things, if we should imply Varnashram Dharma more in the ISKCON society, yes or no. Or about this very, boring but difficult theme of changing the books or whatever. So everybody gives opinions, everybody has something to say. And even in leaders, sometimes there is misunderstanding or I don't know. They have different opinions about points. So now we as followers, let's say as the second generation, how we should know which direction we should follow.
Well, Prabhupada created an organization, a whole society, and he made sure that there also be GBCs, that every zone has its GBC, to make sure that actually we are in line. Everything is done in line with Srila Prabhupada. We don't invent things, new things. We don't speculate. Like I mentioned yesterday, the GBC also has created a body, of advanced, realized devotees who are deciding things when the problems come up. Like, for example, a problem that we always were discussing year after year in the GBC.
Something is wrong with the sound. We can hardly hear.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Oh, yeah. Oh, it works. Kannst du nicht verstehen, ne? Yeah. What was the point now? Oh, yes. Yeah, anyway, so we always have to make sure that things that we hear are actually in line by Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, especially Shastra.
There is a Christian saying, we all read the Bible day and night, but you see black and I see white.
Yeah, that's why we need acharyas. They don't have an acharya, or they don't have acharyas. I heard that the apostles, they started reading the evangeliums. How do you say evangeliums? What is that in English? Long time after the disappearance of Jesus. Whereas we are actually very fortunate. Prabhupada left us so much information, so much instructions, and it's pretty fresh. You can even see Prabhupada. Like I heard you have your class on Mondays here. You see class of Srila Prabhupada directly. So we're actually very fortunate that we have this. That we can always hear Prabhupada, refer to Srila Prabhupada, read his books, like that, and be guided properly. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to track on this discussion. I just one last point to this.
And ask your spiritual. You can ask your spiritual master. If you have a doubt, if you're not clear about something or you're confused, well, you have the spiritual master. Ask him. Ask Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj.
Yeah, I do.
And he's very knowledgeable. He actually was also part of this group.
Shastrik Advisor Board.
Yeah, Shastrik Advising Board. Yeah. He's very learned, very realized. What do you think of that?
Yeah, but in terms of management, he is of course not so involved.
He is actually involved.
but
They gave him the charge of the Minister of Agriculture for Europe. I know that he tried. Vajendra Kumar, no? When Krishna Kshetra Maharaj came to Buenos Aires, to Argentina, Vajendra Kumar was also there, my disciple. You know Vajendra Kumar, right? Yeah. And he tried to convince him to take up this responsibility, him. Yeah? That's how I got to know that. the RGB here in Europe, they convinced Krishna Kshetra to take the charge. Yeah. But
this I don't know. This makes no sense. For example, this is something what makes no sense to me, because Krishna Kshetra Swami, he is a scholar, a very, very deep thinking, and now he is Minister for Agriculture.
Yeah.
But
that means sometimes a devotee has to do something that he maybe even doesn't like, but because of necessity. A devotee, advanced devotee, Prabhupada said a devotee, he even said sannyasis, they should do whatever's necessary. When there's something missing, they should take it up, do it. Brahmacharis also. Whatever has to be done. If there's nobody qualified enough to be a professor in this regard, then we have to surrender. Like you very nicely organized here. In the beginning of the movement, we were often told to do something we had no idea about and we didn't even like. The cook had blooped, and all of a sudden the temple commander came, now you cook. Or Prabhupada sometimes, when he was traveling with his disciples, all of a sudden Prabhupada said, you go to Japan, open a temple in Japan. That's what is actually coming to. The surrender means that you do what is necessary, what the spiritual master tells you to do. And Krishna Kshetra had very nice comments about all this, about the agriculture and all that. Yeah, you maybe not know.
I don't doubt that he's knowledgeable about different fields. I'm just, for me, it's...
In the GBC meeting, once we had a problem, and the GBCs were saying, look, I'm not a manager, I don't want to be a GBC anymore. Yeah. And then the conclusion was, after this long discussion, was that actually this is a Brahminical administration. Brahminical administration. You understand? Huh? As first, are you hearing in English now? Yeah. Of course, as more people come, we have more choices. Or somebody, like for example, like I told you in the beginning, everyone had to do everything. But now, as the movement is expanding more and more, Krishna is also sending us devotees with a lot of experience in different things. Yeah? Construction, for example, and all this, or whatever. Now, I also accounting and all that. Yeah? In the beginning, we would just do anything to make our treasury and all that. Now we have devotees who are properly trained, educated in many places. I didn't ask you a question, right?
No,
Oh, very different. Then say it again. Yes. Aravinda. Are you traductor? No. Oh, yeah. Huh? Done? What do you mean? Yeah, because leaving. Yeah, just like in the GBC, they have a left wing, a right wing, and a center. ¿Mm? ¿Qué preguntaste? Ya, qué bueno. Hare Krishna. Ja, Hare Krishna. Entschuldige, dass ich deine Frage nicht. Das ist schon die zweite Frage, die ich nicht richtig beantwortet habe. Ne? For example, which direction you mean? In your service. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. But like Aravinda said, no, we should learn how to cooperate properly. Like on the GBC, I told you, there's a left wing, there's a right wing, there's a center part. You know, it's pretty heavy discussion sometimes, no, between the right wing and the left wing. But because we're a group, no, we are instructed by Srila Prabhupada to cooperate. No? So we always come to conclusions. No? And Prabhupada said that maybe 2 or 3 people can make mistakes. But Prabhupada said a group of more than 30 mature Vaishnavas, should, that they come to a conclusion, a good conclusion. You understood what I said? Yeah? Yeah, that's why you have a RGB also here in this zone. You have also national here. National, you have a national council also here, no? What was this? Huh? Yeah, NC, for example. Yeah. So we are forced to sit together and speak. And everyone presents his opinion, and we come to our conclusion, Vaishnava conclusion, on the basis of Guru Sadhu Shastra and the instruction that Prabhupada left us. That's why you should read more books of Srila Prabhupada to come to proper conclusions. We're supposed to start seeing things with the eyes of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada must be very, very pleased with your service here. Yes, I'm convinced of this. Don't become discouraged. just continue with a nice service, chanting nice rounds, good rounds, giving the best to your son so he also becomes a devotee, natural devotee. Krishna sent you a nice son. Two. Oh, sorry. And you're actually very fortunate of living here. Yeah. For everything. Also the children. They have an, how you say, himmlische Umgebung here. Yeah. They can sit on the grass. They go to the piscina. How you say piscina? And swimming pool. Yeah. They see devotees all the time. Yeah. And they also participating in the program. Well, not always, but like your son here, as soon as the pujari gets the flame out here, he runs there to get it and to pass it around. You're very fortunate of being here, of having this temple here. Actually, Harikesh, the idea of getting this farm was to have it far away from the big cities. And he was, and he also protected, in case some problem was there, war or something. Yeah. That's why Harikesh got this place, far away. And it's very good. It's very nice. And they come from all over the world here to become inspired. Yeah. It's an important place of pilgrimage here, this Singhachu. Like they came from another part of the world. He also. Now he's becoming a German now, no? Yeah. Yeah, Krishna brought Ananda Krishna back. Yeah, Krishna make like this. Go back to Germany. As you don't know really what you have, how fortunate you are, because you're always living here. Yeah. But if you would maybe travel around a little bit every now and then, you would always want to come back as soon as possible to this place. Yeah, there was a question there in the back. Yeah. Can you speak a little louder? Maybe there's a second microphone. Yeah. Okay. Who says? My ears are a little old, Yes, very good. Yeah, actually, this is called Swadharma. That one is actually situated according to his qualities and his tendencies like this. Yeah. And everyone is supposed to come to that point of being properly situated. Yeah. 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 But it wasn't translated now, what you say. No, it's GBC. I mentioned GBC. No? Spiritual administration. Brahminical administration. Like we have seen in our temples, that there always have to be somebody who manages nicely, and there have to be also somebody who keeps I see what was that term? The Siddhanta. Keep the Siddhanta. Yeah. They have to be Brahmins and they have to be administrators, proper administrators. And we see it many times, many places. Now you had an expert in agriculture here, and he liked it. He actually did courses everywhere to learn more, the kind of. But somehow he left. He left. And I doubt there will be somebody who continue with that as good as he did. I don't want to get involved in politics here, but that's what I. Yeah. And now he works with, what is that, Mercedes or something like that. Huh? Sorry? Porsche. Wow, even better. He's just now wasting his time, unfortunately. Okay. Haben wir dich jetzt zufriedengestellt, oder? Ah? Das sah nicht so aus, hä? No. No, speak up until you get your answer that satisfies you. Just like we became devotees, no? Many of us became devotees because nowhere else they could answer our questions. Yeah? That's why we became devotees. Prabhupada, we found in Srila Prabhupada somebody who was asking questions. What am I saying? Satisfying our inquietude. What is that? Inquietude. Oh, yeah, yes. Hmm? Is it the same point? Yeah. Hmm? Sorry? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully. And I'm glad that you had given advice in where was the place you're living? Yeah, Mus. That you have experience, no? Huh? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and they're very, very appreciative in that place, the devotees, that you are there. I heard about your glorious activities there. Yeah, and it's hopefully you become more involved in this, yeah, because of your training and all that. That's what we need. Like you see it here. Yeah, yeah. They have a GBC college. That is also something new. Beginning Power would say, you did GBC now here. Yeah. And you go, no, but now it's much more refined. And devotees should take advantage of that. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They should have meetings here. Like we used to call this the what is that? Brahminical body or something like that. I don't remember. Yeah? The Brahmins get together and they discuss things and they also give advice. That's what I mentioned. In the temples there should be a good administration, but also a Brahminical board or Brahmins who know things as they are. And they know how to refer all these things to Shastra. They know the answers from Shastra. No? Like I was GBC for many years. And I had no training at all. I just grew into it. I learned by associating with other GBCs. And now I'm not anymore. Huh? Compromiso is commitment. Yeah. So make yourself available. Krishna. Oh, Krishna. Maybe one day I can also satisfy you. Srila Prabhupada K. Wow, it's already 9:05. Sorry. Swami Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki.